Hey everyone, I'm Nain here. I'm joined here by James, and welcome to this very special episode where we just came out of screening for Scream 6.
We sure did.
We sure did. It was actually quite a hoot, really. I wasn't expecting it to be that good. Um,
I know.
yep. So this is our second podcast review, something new that we're introducing into this new sort of era of movie game. So hope you guys enjoy listening to us talk about movies rather than write. So might as well get straight into it.
Mhm.
Again, we just came out of Scream 6.
Yep.
It's the sixth, obviously, movie in the franchise, and it directly follows last year's Scream 5, with except just in a different
Gosh, yeah.
last year. Yeah, it was last
Yeah,
year,
yeah, I
wasn't it?
know
Yeah.
that. Oh, that's just crazy to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So, James, what was your just overall thoughts?
Overall thoughts, eh? Wow, that actually blows my mind. That was only a year ago. Feels like ages ago. To produce this kind of movie just 1 year after doing Scream 5, which I really did like, by the
Yeah.
way. I'll declare that I haven't seen the other ones. I think I've seen the first one, but not 2, 3, or 4.
I've seen neither but 5
Yeah.
and 6.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Yeah. Well, I've only seen Scream 5 on memory, and I really like that. You know, we were talking about it before the movie, how it was meta and all this kind of stuff, and yeah, just played around with tropes of the horror genre and
Even the film industry as a whole.
yeah,
Really.
everything. It really does that stuff, and I think for this movie, Scream 6, it really does elevate everything that Scream 5 did right.
Yeah.
I would say it's better, not monumentally or anything, but I think it is. It does more here. I think it honors the legacy of Scream. I think it plays into what the franchise really does well,
Yeah.
and just the way it depicts Ghostface and the storylines coming together and the underlying thematics of the film just bleeding to the surface, I thought was just really well done. I think some of the parts where the series can improve on is more in the performances of the film.
Yeah.
But besides that, I just want Scream to keep running like this. I think it's really great. It always leaves me guessing, and I couldn't predict a thing in this movie. It plays with the audience, it plays with your mind really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were your thoughts of it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean,
Mm.
again, I watched Scream 5 2 days ago,
Yeah.
and then I watched this one now, and I just really like it.
Mm.
Pretty much as you said, I enjoyed like the meta-ness, how it like made fun of like franchises and like sequels and
Mhm.
the whole movie industry. Like it just pretty much like was just on the nose, and I think the reason why it was on the nose is just why it's so funny.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Karen.
And it was a lot more tense than I thought it would be. Like both 5 and 6, like I wasn't expecting it to be that tense.
Yeah.
Like obviously it's obvious what's going to happen, but just the way they build up to those kills or those like fake out moments and stuff, they did it very well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, did you manage to guess any of like the big reveals of the film? We won't spoil it here, but
And this one or number 5?
nah, in this one.
I had an inkling
Yeah.
over the main one. So
yeah.
Puppet. I'm going to say the Puppet Master
Yeah.
because I know James will know who I'm talking about there.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But the other one
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting.
I mean, I had to keep guessing out. I was all over the place with it. It does it really well, and I think it knows exactly what it's doing.
Yeah.
But I know Scream 7's coming out, I think, next year. So
Is it?
yeah.
Oh man, back to back to back.
Yeah, I know, it's cool. I mean, if they can top this one, I think it's going to be impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess we'll have to wait and see.
Mm.
What do you think of the story?
The story, I thought it was good. I think it continues what the fifth one did, in a world that's or in a way that's compelling, in a way that doesn't feel forced just to get another sequel.
Yeah.
And any shred of like inkling where you're like, oh, they're just doing this for the cash grab, and perhaps that's a motivator for the studio. It kind of plays into that with its meta-ness and how it
Definitely
calls itself a requel and it's a franchise now and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
it plays with it really well. It includes it as part of the plot, but also for some like just for comedy. So
yeah.
I thought it was done really well, and like you said before, it's quite tense when it needs to be. It's funny where it needs to be. It's just a really well balanced horror movie, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
It's got it all. I'm not sure what the other Screams are like, where there has
Mm.
like that sort of comedic element to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just a pure like slasher horror, or if it has like that,
Yeah.
gags in it.
So only
Yeah.
seeing Scream 5, how would you compare the two in terms of story?
Um, I think it's very similar. It's pretty much very similar sort of story, just different location.
Mm,
So in Scream 6, they're set in New York rather than Woodsboro.
yeah.
But it pretty much has the same dynamic, group of friends, killer, and you got the
Mm,
two sisters,
yeah.
Sabrina Carpenter and Tara,
Mm-hmm.
um, which just pretty much continues on from their story of
Yeah.
Scream 5, and then that's somehow linked. Well, not somehow, but it's linked to the
Mm,
first one where what's his name? Billy Loomis is
yeah.
Melissa Barrett's father.
Mm-hmm.
It just continues on from that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think having it set in New York really allows for something quite creative in terms of like, the killings and the tenseness of it and stuff. It makes it really like inventive with the way it portrays a lot of what happens in the movie. I
Yeah.
like that change of pace in terms of the location.
We didn't it was very similar though, like it was just mainly like it was set in like an apartment, which we saw in the other one with houses,
Mm,
and then it was set in like a big sort of area, which is what we saw in the last one with the house party.
yeah.
I think the only like creative thing it would probably be the opening scene, really.
I mean,
That
there was
that
an
was different.
amazing scene that I loved on the train.
Oh yes, that train
Yeah.
one was good. I forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Now you know what I'm talking
that was
about.
a good scene.
Mm.
That is very intense as well.
Yeah.
So we won't say any more about that. Performances. What do you think of performances? Start with the leading
Mm.
two. Melissa Barron,
Jenna
Jenna?
Ortega.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I said before at the start. I think the performances need, or they could be better.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're bad at all. I think they are good and they fit into their role a bit better than Scream 5. I thought they were quite weak in that movie, and this one I think they're kind of just more comfortable in the character.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just more the emotional moments, the quite high intensity moments with the main group of characters. I think it is quite not that compelling. I think they could do a little bit better. Hopefully Scream 7 brings that towards the outside actors in terms of like Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
I don't think she really has much of an acting ability in general anymore.
Past her prime.
Past her prime. I didn't even know if she had a prime to be honest, to be perfectly honest, outside of Friends. But the supporting cast besides that, I think, they were just fine to me. Yeah.
So it is very mediocre,
Mm,
really.
Well,
Just
what about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Like nothing really stood out.
Mm, No
Maybe
standouts?
yeah, Melissa Barra. I think that's how you say her name.
Mm,
Last name.
yeah.
I think she just showed a bit more emotion than she did in the like her emotional sort of
In
performance.
the fifth one, yeah.
Yeah, so that was like a good improvement from her. So
Mhm.
and like her like dealing with that conflict that her dad is was pretty much the first Ghostface, and her trying not to live up to his legacy. You
Yeah.
could sort of see that conflict a bit more in her
Yeah.
throughout this one, but yeah, pretty much everything else was just the same. Jenny Ortega was just just
Mm.
exactly the same how she was in 5, except less wounded, really.
That's all we can say about it, really. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and pretty much agree with you on the supporting. Like they just
Mm.
supported. Like no one really stood out or anything.
Yeah.
They were just there, said their lines and left.
Mm.
Yeah. Technically wise, there's not much really to say in regards to this. I mean,
Mm.
they did change up the base of Ghostface. That made it more like old and like there was cracks in it.
Yeah.
It
I
wasn't
think it's
just that
really
pure white.
interesting. The way they use that within the plot as well, I think is really
Yeah.
cool. It's not just some random change that they do with the look of that character. But on the technical front, I think the killings, I feel like my memory might be passing me here, but I feel like this one I really like the killings a lot more. I was more grimacing a lot throughout it, kind of just like, oh, that's like, there's some
that
really
will
like
definitely hurt.
yeah, there's some really quite intense moments and really brutal killings. Which I guess you got to get from these kind of movies. They have to be compelling in that sense, and I think it really pays off through the killings. And yeah, just kind of the way it's shot. I think it's almost the exact same as Scream 5.
Yeah.
Some highlights and stuff like that. But I don't want to go too deep into it. Might spoil it for whoever's listening.
Yeah, there's definitely those like sort of fake scare moments as well that we saw on Scream 5, where you think something's going to happen, and then just you get
Yeah.
blue balled,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah.
All right, James. So I think that we'll pretty much discuss all we can really about Scream
Pretty
6.
much, yeah.
It's not that it's one of those films that you can't really go that in depth into it, really.
Yeah, I mean you could, but it's one that I'd have to sit on for quite a bit. We just came out of the movie, but
That's true. Like
yeah, I
half an
think
hour
yeah.
ago.
Yeah. It has to sit with me a little bit, and I should probably get onto the other Screams at some point.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. So, what would your overall score be for this one?
Ooh, a score out of 10.
Out of 10.
I'm gonna go 7.8, man. I really did enjoy this. Yeah.
Ah.
What would yours be?
Mine would be 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10?
7 out of 10.
Fair
yeah.
enough. Yep.
Yeah, it was good.
Good score. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Mhm.
All right, cool. All right, guys, that's us.
Cheers.
That's us for the Scream 6 review. Well, we'll be chucking it up on our podcast everywhere. So head over.
Yeah, the embargo just dropped. So,
yeah, embargo
yeah.
dropped 17 minutes ago. So
Mhm.
hopefully you guys are listening to this very first rather than reading reviews. Fingers crossed. If you want to read any other reviews, head over to moviegains.com. We've got a lot of content there, not just reviews. We also do box office, award season sort of analysis, do fun stuff like lists and 4K reviews as well. Sit over there. And we're also very active on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Pinterest. If you want to head over there and flick us a demon when you eventually go see Scream 6, let us know your thoughts. So yeah, we'll catch you next week. Our next film that we'll be reviewing will be John Wick 4, which is one that we're both excited for.
Yeah, we got a good week next week. John Wick
We
4
do.
and Shazam 2.
too,
Oh
yes.
man, I'm looking forward to next week.
So clean out your ears, guys, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, guys. See you.
See ya.